Once we release the student athletes, it will then take questions for Coach Few. Again, please silence or turn off your cell phones. Raise your hand and wait for the microphone when we get to the question and answer phase. Coach?
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough, hard-fought game, and we were right there at the 4-minute mark, and we just had some empty possessions that we didn't quite convert on. And man, if you get down to Duke inside that 4 minutes, I don't think there's anybody better at finishing games as far as burning clock and getting the right guys to the free throw line. And then you just have got to convert on your offensive possessions. And these guys have done that all year. And I thought Duke played great defense on us, stretches of the first half, and then for late stretches of the second half, and that was probably the difference.
Okay, questions for the student athletes? We'll go on the aisle, far left.
For Kevin, can you talk a little bit about Quinn Cook's defense, what he was trying to do, and how effective he was guarding you out there?
Yeah, he was scrappy, and he was next to me the whole time, and so it just made it tough and it made it difficult. But it opened things up for the rest of my teammates, and they took advantage and were aggressive. And I just tried not to force anything, but he was attached to me for most of the game.
Okay, next question. Questions for the student athletes? Anything? Here we go in the back, far left.
Adam Spillane from Sports Radio 610 in Houston. For all three of you, what has this year meant to you guys?
Gary, why don't you start?
It's meant everything. We made it to an Elite Eight, and this is something you dream of, playing on that stage, to be, the Final Eight teams playing in college basketball. Like I said, you just dream of that stuff growing up, and to be playing for, a guy like Coach Few, my 4 years definitely made me a better basketball player, and I'm, definitely fortunate enough to be in this position right now.
Kevin?
Yeah, it's meant everything, and the best team I've ever been on, talent-wise, and best group of guys and best coaching staff. So, we accomplished a lot, and obviously wanted to make it to the Final Four, but we can look back and, be pretty happy with what we've been able to do. We just fell a little short, so great memories this year, though, that I'll take for the rest of my life.
Kyle?
We had a lot of fun this year. We have such a close group of guys, so we just got to take the good from this situation because, anytime you lose, it's not very fun. So, great group of guys, and I'm just fortunate to have been on this wonderful team.
Okay, next question for student athletes. On the far left on the aisle again.
For Kyle, 52 points for you guys is kind of well below average. What did Duke do defensively to hold you guys down so well?
They were just scrappy. They were poking at the ball. They threw a lot of different defenses at us. They denied. They did a lot of switching. So kind of got us out of rhythm, and we just weren't really hitting some shots that we usually hit, which was too bad.
Anything else for student athletes? Here we go. Left in the rear.
Matt Johnson, Gonzaga Bolton. Kyle, I'm wondering how this tournament run compares to some of the ones you had at Kentucky.
We wanted to make the Final Four, so we're just really down on ourselves right now. But we have such a great group of guys that we're just there for each other. And going back to Spokane, we'll have each other's backs. And all these guys are going, no matter what they do in their lives, we have such high character guys that are going to be successful. So it's disappointing we weren't there, but at the same time, these are relationships we'll always have for the rest of our lives.
Okay, questions for the student athletes? Anything else? Here we go on the front row, second row, far left, I'm sorry.
For Kevin, Doug Branch, TSN. You didn't score until the second half, but you guys go on a 5-0 run to start that half, timeout from Duke. Are you surprised that you guys were able to then get up on them and then they fought back as well as they did?
Not surprised. We have full confidence in ourselves and our team that we can, get a lead, get on runs like that. Wish we had a couple more, but the game of basketball is all about, runs, and it's going to happen to both teams throughout the game, and who responds is the ones that usually get to the top, and they had some more runs than we did, and that's just how the game was.
Okay, anything else for the student athletes? Okay, gentlemen, we'll let the three of you go. Thank you for your time. Congratulations on a great season. We'll take questions for Coach Few now. Again, please raise your hand, wait for the microphone, and give us your name and affiliation when you ask your question. Thanks, guys. Questions? Everybody in the center of the room?
Jeremiah Short, South Boston News and Observer. Coach Few, Karnowski wasn't able to get it going tonight. Just talk about what Jaleel Okafor was able to do to kind of keep him from being able to be more effective.
I mean, to be honest with you, it was the 2 fouls early. I mean, we had to sit him early, and I thought that was a big factor in that first half when we didn't have him out there. They were bringing, it's the first time I've seen Duke bring double teams, so I think that was out of respect for Karnowski. They were coming off of either our other big, if it wasn't Wilch, or coming off of Wesley or Dranginas, which we've seen all year. That's kind of what other teams have done to us, and Shem usually makes some nice passes out of there. He did in this game. Looking back on it, we probably needed to direct the ball to him a couple more times there down the stretch just to generate some baskets, and that's what we were trying to do in that one little stretch, and we just didn't. We turned the ball over with kind of a couple silly turnovers.
Okay, next question for Coach. Right here. Third row, far left.
Mark Budweather, Seattle Times. I think there was a stretch in that second half where right after you had the 4-point lead, you went like 7 possessions in a row without scoring, and right in there, three threes by Pango, Spell, and Wilcher. Did they look like good looks?
That's the one that kind of, that little section right there sticks out in my head, or sequence, I should say. Those are the threes we've been making all year, and those are the threes that have been building runs for us all year and that get us going. Obviously, I thought GB's was fine, and Kevin, we needed to get him some looks at 3, and Kyle's was the one that was probably not something we needed to take, especially in lieu of how the other ones went. But again, we've all seen Kyle make that shot. So, but that stretch I thought hurt us, and then the stretch, we had it. It was 53-51, and we missed a wide open lay-in that would have tied it. And then I think we were down 54-51, or maybe we were down 4, and Kevin got a beautiful look in the corner and just didn't hit it. Another great team shot, and then we ended up, going 1 for 2 from the line and traveling on a post move. So that was tough way to end those. They're empty possessions, but by and large, they're kind of those possessions that we've converted all year. But you're right on it. That was it.
Next question for Coach. Here we go. The rear on the left.
Nick Matthews, Houston Chronicle. You alluded to Kyle's miss on the layup that would have tied the game. That seemed, it was a deflating miss, it seemed like.
Well, it was a shot he makes. He'd make that thing, 499 times out of 500. It was just a fluke, and there's nobody on the team we'd rather have taken it other than him. He's just got such a beautiful touch with the ball around the rim. So, it just for some reason didn't drop. And again, same with Kev and that 3 from the corner. There's literally nobody we'd rather have taken that shot at that moment in that time. And when that happens, you just kind of got to shake your head, and it's not your night.
Okay, second row, far left.
Doug Branch, TSN. Coach, did you go into a zone there to be able to get back into the game? And, okay, then you didn't go into the zone. Was it ever a thought with Okafor looking like he was going to struggle at the line to maybe foul him to put him out there to give yourself more possessions?
No, we tried, but again, they do a great job of keeping the ball from him. I mean, that was the plan in the last 3 minutes there, and he never touched his hands. They do a great job of moving it, and the ball's in Cook's hands, and the ball's in Tyus Jones's hands, and then they were isolating Winslow at the end of the possession and making plays there. We also gave up 2 really, really critical offensive rebounds in that stretch. So, I mean, we played hard enough, and it wasn't a pretty game by any stretch, but we were in position there to bring it down to a couple, possessions right at the end. But you can't have those empty possessions like we had on offense, and you certainly can't give up offensive rebounds after you defend for 25, 30 seconds.
Okay, on center to the left.
Jacob Thorpe, Spokesman Review. With as many weapons as they have, maybe you have to pick your poison a bit defensively. Their guard, Matt Jones, only had about 10 starts this year. Was he someone you maybe didn't expect to be able to go off like he did?
Well, we cross-matched, which is what we've been doing with Kyle when these teams go small and athletic. And so we took a chance and had Kyle on him and put you in little different rotations out there on the perimeter. And he stepped up and hit shots. And initially we went in, we wanted to double Okafor, just to try to keep Shemek out of foul trouble early, and they hit some quick threes on that. So then we just went back to guarding him one-on-one, and I thought we did a great job there. Both Domus and Shemek did a great job guarding him. They were fine guarding him one-on-one. But we gave up a couple corner threes to Matt Jones that we should never, ever give up, that were just, mental slip-ups.
Okay, thank you, Coach.